I'm coming to you on Monday, August 19th. I'm a day late with my podcast. Normally, I try to get this podcast done on Saturday or Sunday. This weekend, Saturday, I did something that I normally don't do, and that was I went out to one of my clients' party, or was a fiance's party. They had it at their house. And what I did is that it puts you in a position, you're in unfamiliar surroundings, your schedule's thrown off, and to people inviting you. It was great, don't get me wrong. I'm glad I was invited, but it throws your schedule off. Normally on Sundays, I am awake by 5:30, and I can, do the things I need to do my cardio, get my podcast done, things like that. I didn't wake up to 10 o'clock, and it's just, you know, um, so Saturday I got nothing done. I left early. I left right after I got done training clients. Sunday I didn't get everything that I wanted done, and now on Monday I'm trying to catch up. So to me, that's a cost you 3 days, and we might have spent 2 or 3 hours at the party, and that's fine. I'm glad she invited me. She's a very very good client of mine. But at the same time, I am on a mission to try to achieve something, and there's a lot of work to be done. I'm trying to become the greatest at what I've ever done, and that's kind of along the lines of what the podcast is about. And people say, some people say, why train to be the best? Why try to be the best? Well, why not? You know what I mean? We can all learn to be the best. We live in a very mediocre society, a very complaining society. Everybody's too goddamn sensitive. Anything you say, if you say hello to a woman, that's sexual harassment. If you call a person black, that's racism. If you say, hey, he's bisexual or whatever, that's homophobic. Everything is so damn sensitive nowadays that, and I believe it's because we've lowered the standards of our world to try to meet the people instead of having the high standards and having people up their game to adhere to the standards. And I believe it's affecting every parts of our life. We don't have the society or the nation that I knew growing up. It's totally, totally changed. But anyway, one of the things that I wanted to talk about on this podcast today is um, achieving greatness. Strive to be the best that you can be. Now, if that means work, school, mother, stay at home mom, father, business owner, whatever. If you look at what you do and you can't find some way to get better at what you do, you have loser DNA. You've already lost the battle because you don't have enough insight or knowledge or thinking to understand you can always get better. Always, no matter what you do, you can always get better. And so the challenge is you versus you. Um, a lot of times, what I suggest is you write down in your journal. You wake up, you have a purpose. Too many people wake up without a purpose. They just wake up and however the day comes is how the day comes. That's why you see so many people losing this game of life, working jobs that they're not happy at, and living a life that they're not choosing. That the circumstances are choosing it for them, and they're just always in a reactive mode. What I try to do is get up, and I try to be in a proactive mode. I try to keep things out in front of me and have a positive mental mindset to handle any type of problems that may come my way. And that has worked for me. It has worked for some of the greatest minds in the world. And that, when was the last time you picked up a book and read it and fed your knowledge? When was the last time you listened to a positive uh, audio message or read cue cards daily that have your goals on it? A lot of people just don't put the time into it, but they bitch and complain about a life that they don't have that they wish they had. Well, life is what you make it. If you sit back and you strive for nothing, you're going to get just that, nothing. I wake up and I strive every day. I have rituals and disciplines that I follow every day, and a lot of them coincide with what it is I'm trying to achieve. Um, I didn't grow up seeing any type of success. I grew up very, very poor neighborhoods. The only people that had success or showed some type of money, they were all doing illegal activities, which, at some point in time in my life became a part of my life. You don't become great or successful by hoping it happens for you. You have to go get it. And what I found in success, and I've studied successful people for a very long time. Let's take Michael Jordan as an example. Michael Jordan wasn't the best basketball shooter. Probably at that time, Reggie Miller was. Um, the best defensive player at that time, probably Gary Payton was. He wasn't the best dunker at that time. It was probably Dominique Wilkins. He wasn't the best dribbler with great handles and great passing skills around that time. It was probably Magic Johnson. So, what makes him the greatest of all time? He had enough of all those things coupled with a determination to be the best. So he eventually beat all those guys on his way to win an unprecedented 6 rings. Now, there's players that have won. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar probably won just as many or more titles than Michael. But Michael Jordan is known as the greatest to ever play the game. So what I try to do when I look at what greatness should be, I try to, if you're a boxer, Mike Tyson in his day, or Muhammad Ali, who was known as the greatest, and all you have is a right jab, pretty soon they figure it out. They shut down your right jab and you're no more good. So, you got to have a right hand, you got a left hand, you got to have a jab, you got to have an uppercut, you got to know when to hold, you got to know when to release. So you build these multidimensional facets to your game, no matter what it is that you do, and it makes you an unstoppable force. And no matter what that is, if you're a student, when everybody else is out partying, you study. And when the test comes and you pass the test and they get sloppy grades, you're setting a standard. If you work a job, you mean to tell me you can't do your job better or develop a better attitude or get things done quickly or learn more or just make a change? It's just, we just have so many people that wake up every day and they just accept what life gives to them. And, I just think it's so much more to life. And if people knew that, if they took that approach and just constantly focus on putting that education back within themselves, everybody believes education is school. To some people, it might be, but that's a general education where they teach you, Susie got on a train traveling 55 miles an hour, or how many apples did she have when she got to DC? Me personally, I don't give a fuck. But, if you ask me what it takes to be successful and what I do and who are the people that have came along and they've done it, I can tell you that because that's specific to me. So my education is built on specifically to me, the gym business, what things cost, how much money you make, how to accumulate wealth. I study a lot on how to accumulate wealth and positive mindset. So these have taught me gifts that have kept me in business. I've been in business almost 22 years. And the average gym or personal training studios average of being open is 3 to 5 years. So I've managed to last 3 times longer than them because of the type of mindset and framework and the things that I put into my business. So as long as you're adding value back into your business, you're making your clients happy. They're going to be there. You're going to outlast a lot of people because in 3 years they're going under and you're still growing. You're still making more money, add more quality. And that's what I want to do. I want to eventually, own 5 gyms and 5 studios. Will that make me does that make me the greatest trainer? Well, what determines that? Is it the fact that you train a lot of people? I've done that before. Is it the fact that people stay with you a long time? I got that. Is it the fact that, you give people great results? I do that. along with podcasts to educate more people, along with social media to educate people and build a bigger audience. And at a time there were no contest promoters, especially black contest promoters, and I was one for 5 years. I brought a great show to Prairie State College when everybody said it would never happen, but it did. I did seminars with pro bodybuilders at the top of their game, and everybody said it's not going to happen. Well, it did, and all of that comes from expecting more from me than anybody could expect from me. I'm my harshest critic because at the end of the day, it's me against me. That's why I was kind of upset. I sat around all day yesterday complaining that she ain't, that I did not get done the things that I wanted to get done. And that was upsetting to me because I just value myself on being consistent, winning every day. If you win every day, little bitty battles, if you win every day, they add up to great things. And those greatness is small things that seem insignificant being done on a consistent daily basis. It's not good if you're great one day and you suck the other 29 of the month. That's not called greatness. That's a one-hit wonder. People don't value or put a lot into greatness. And greatness or success is dependent upon what the individual thinks it is. But when you settle, when you say, okay, I just want to go to work and get my check and go home, that's mediocre. Everybody does. The majority of the people at your job don't do that. Be different. Stand out. Learn new skills. Read more. Have a better attitude. Have a positive mindset. I wouldn't care if you're flipping burgers at McDonald's. You can get better as a person. And as I said before, it's not being great is not what it gives you or what you are going to get from it. It's who it makes you into. And you'll start to find out and discover things about yourself that you never knew. And you learn that at a position. You say, okay, well, if I can do this, if I can make crew captain at McDonald's, then I can buy my own restaurant. It just lets you know that nothing is out of reach and nothing is impossible if you're willing to have a systematic plan and work hard, which a lot of people are not willing to do. So in this day and age, it makes it a lot more obtainable because there's so many people that are not willing to do that. So I urge you to take it upon yourself no matter what you do. Sometimes, I was a mechanic for 10 years and hated it for 10 years, but I knew I had to do that to pay my bills and support my family. But at the same time, I educated myself and learned towards what my passion was, which was being in the fitness industry. And eventually, I learned enough and did enough and worked hard enough to open up my own facility for the last. I've been in this industry 28 years, and I've worked for myself the last 28 years. I managed a couple of gyms, but I was always a sole contractor working under my LLC. So, it's not where you start. It's, that's just one chapter in your book. It's not the end of your book. You write your book. So I would love to see more people striving to be better people at what they do. Don't take the approach that, oh, well, this is all my job, pay me, and that's all I'm going to do. Well, it's a reason they only pay you that because your ass ain't doing nothing. Give more, learn to give more, quit looking at the dollar, and that will come. If you give your all in one way or another and you strive to be better than you were the day before, the rewards as far as financially, they're going to come one way or the other. Don't think about that. Think about just each day, even if you're just working on being a better person and learning more and reading more and exercise, whatever it may be, just do that. Just worry about bettering yourself and everything else will take care of itself. Okay. So that's my podcast for today. Once again, I do apologize. I should have put it up yesterday. And I just want people to look around and understand that we have become a very mediocre society. And the only way to change it is one person at a time. and you could be that person, make a change in your space, and then the next your generation behind you, which maybe your kids or grandkids or whatever, they'll make that same difference in their space, and then things start to spread. We sit around and we wait on outside sources to make things better for us. We have to make things better for ourselves at the end of the day. All right. So once again, this is your man, Sir-Earl, and I'm saying strive to be the best, strive to work hard, strive to be a better person, and take care of each other. Always keep it positive. And until next week, which will be Sunday, I'll be posting again. I'm out. Peace.